Welcome back to the Let's Pivot podcast, the show for founders and coaches who want growth without the guesswork. We talk about systems that drive predictable growth. Today, I'm joined with Neil Katz, founder of Exceptional HR Solutions. Neil has over 25 years of real world experience working with everyone from startups, 1,000+ employee organizations. Having built a business up, I'm pretty sure that he has a lot of insights for us. How are you doing today, Neil?
I'm great, Chuck. Thanks for having me on the podcast. Super excited to be here today with you.
Great, great. So, Neil, just so we can get to know you a little bit, can you tell us kind of your story? Why'd you get into the HR business?
Actually, Chuck, I'll keep it brief, but the story is kind of interesting. I was interviewing for an operations role, and my last interview was with the head of HR for this company. And her comment to me at the end is, "You're going to get the job, but you belong in HR. You don't belong in ops." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know about that. That's really not the department I want to be in." And about 3, maybe 6 months later, I get a call from her. She's like, "Hey, we're moving into HR." I'm like, "I'm not really sure I want to do this." She goes, "You do. You just don't know it yet." And that was over 25 years ago. So as I like to tell people, it was the best decision I did not make moving into HR. And I've been doing this for over 25 years. And I'm glad somebody saw something in me I didn't see in myself at that time.
I'm sure we all are if we're lucky enough to have that happen for us.
Exactly.
And so, what made you turn HR into a business?
Well, that's an interesting. It started out, I'd been doing what I would say supporting people on the side. Friends, families, network of professionals would reach out and ask for help, guidance, inquiries. And then one day somebody decided to pay me. I'm like, wow, this is kind of nice. And then a few more people started paying me, and then a few more. And next thing I know, it's the adage of the side hustle, which I loved. And then about almost 5 years ago, I had the opportunity, things came together in my career, and I was standing at the edge of the cliff trying to figure out what was next for me. Where did I want to go? How did I want to pivot? And my lovely wife and I were talking. She's like, "Look, just go. I know you see a dark abyss in front of you. You don't know what's going to happen, and I don't either. But let's do this together and let's go." And she supported me, and I decided to launch my fractional HR services firm almost 5 years ago.
Okay. And how's that journey?
Full of highs and challenges, and I don't want to say lows because there's been a lot of education. Is I've learned more in the last 4 plus almost 5 years than I have probably my 25 years prior to that. It's been just every experience you can imagine. As they say, failure teaches you great lessons. I've got a whole lot of lessons in the last 4 and 5 years, more than I might have wanted, but it's been great. And I look back at this and look, I have a team of 20 plus professionals and growing, and very successful firm. We've done very well for ourselves, and we're going to continue to succeed and grow, and more importantly, learn the next 4 to 5 years as well.
What's one of the key things for growth? Especially in a new company, that 3 to 5 years is that's the real trial period, right? You either make it there or you die there.
And trust me, Chuck, I'm a little worried about that because I'm coming into the fifth year. So we're going to come out of it and through the fifth into the sixth. But look, I think the key learning about growth is you got to be dedicated to it. It's hard work. You got to drive from it. But again, I'll go back to the key message, which is learn. You got to learn from your mistakes. I mean, I've had plenty of mistakes in the journey of growth, not having the right clients, having the right clients, not taking care of the clients to the level I'd like, teaching people great service, and really just continue to evolve and recognize and have candid, true conversations with people.
True, candid conversations with people. So that sounds like difficult conversations sometimes.
It is, but you know what? If you don't have them, you're having that conversation anyways because you're having it with yourself. And the reality is, we have a lot of self conversations, and I would say it's probably time to stop those or minimize them. And let's really have the conversations that need to be had, because the reality is, when you truly have that difficult conversation and you get through to the other side, and whatever change comes out of it, it's probably better for all parties, anyways.
Right, right. That's why you're the guy. It makes complete sense to me. So let me ask you, we did mention a little bit about automations and technology advancing, especially over the last 25, 30 years, right? So what are your thoughts on that from where it went when you had to walk into the HR department with an application, right? And or mail it in, and now everything's done online and there's apps for it. What's that kind of technological shift been like in the HR world?
I would say, Chuck, we've seen a great shift in the last 25 years. I think technology's aided us in a lot of ways, brought us systems, processes, things to spend less time on the tactical things that need to be done but still have to be executed. So technology's helped us really get to a better place. I think what's more interesting for me is what's the next 25 years. Heck, how about the next 5 years going to bring for us? I think we're going to see more technology in the 5 years than we've seen in my last 25 or more. The advancement of technology is going to be crazy.
And are you getting in front of that wave?
I would say we're trying to get in front of the wave. And what I mean by that is, I don't know what I don't know. I know I want to be a leading firm in utilization of AI and AI support and tools. But at the same point, one of the things a recent client of mine said to me is AI is a phenomenal tool. In the department I'm in, human resources, let's not lose the human out of AI, because AI is a great tool, but if we lose the human, we're losing a lot of other pieces. And AI cannot replace a human yet. We'll see what the future brings. But I think the key is we've got to embrace the AI and we have to embrace the human aspects together and figure out how to have these two groups work together to achieve great success and outcomes.
Right. And I think that's my view of it is you'll either learn how to leverage AI and become more efficient, more effective, more productive, or you won't learn how to leverage AI and you'll kind of get left behind.
100% agree with you. In fact, if you're not using AI every day and challenging yourself how to become better with the technology, you're already behind. You still can catch up, but you got to embrace and you have to understand it and you got to learn from it and figure out ways, learn, read, watch, listen, understand it, because it teaches you as much and we're learning from it and it's learning from us.
Now, as a HR professional, when you talk to your clients, do you recommend that they classes for AI? How do you recommend that they integrate their employees with the coming technology and keep them trained and I guess maybe not overwhelmed by it?
I think the thing with AI from that perspective is if you have groups of people that aren't using it, then yes, I think classes are foundational and a good resource and tool to help. If it's trying to keep abreast to what's happening, the new changes, the new updates, the new features, functionalities, what it's learning, classes won't be able to teach you that because the pace is just going so rampantly. That's really going to be podcasts. It's going to be webinars. It's going to be articles online that you're reading about because candidly, what was yesterday is not today and absolutely will not be tomorrow. So the pace of it's going to be a bit more challenging and we're going to have to find mechanisms and resources and content that's relatively current. And what I mean by that, within the last 2 to 4 weeks. I mean, if you look at, let's use ChatGPT 6 months ago, it was okay. But now you look at it today and where it's going to be, it's crazy how fast it's evolving and changing in a great way. But if you wait for a course that's 6 months or a year old, you're going to be looking at materials and information that's outdated.
I think that's a good point. So, what can companies do to keep their employees as educated and as up to date as they would need to be?
I think the first thing you need to do is the companies need to set a guideline of what is their AI practices, what are their policies. I can't tell you if you're not updating your AI policy and utilization of rules and regulations regarding AI use in the workplace, every 3 months you're going to be behind because that's how fast it's changing. So the first thing is embrace it. It's here, it's going to be done. And there are some companies out there that say we will not allow AI in the workplace. Those companies, I'm not sure will survive long term. So I'd say first, build a program of understanding of what is the company's philosophy with AI. And then second is really getting it to be like a group where once a month you guys come together and talk about what are your learnings? What are your takeaways? What did you embrace? What failed? What worked for AI this month? And really talking about it and celebrating and integrating as part of that monthly meeting, that weekly meeting with your team. And it really, you can make it almost competitive in the sense that says, hey, every week I want you to bring one thing you've learned with AI. And as people bring more and more, you build that momentum of change and embracing that change of what's possible. And the reality, I had this conversation with someone about 3 months ago, is I still today have not found anything I could not do that I wanted to do in AI. The only thing limiting me was my ability to be that creative and out of the box to think about it.
Right, right. Asking the right questions, knowing the right questions to ask. Maybe
Exactly.
always been the the crux of the human condition. But yes, once we do find those right questions, right, the answers. So let me ask you then, we're coming to the end of 2025. What is your plan? Where do you see 2026 going?
I think 2026 is going to be an interesting year with AI, the economy, regulations. I'm not quite sure where it's going yet. I've talked to a lot of different business owners and leaders and executives, and I asked the same question of everybody. What's your prediction for 2026? We think it's going to be a better economic year. Technology is going to go a much faster pace. I do think 26, 27, we're going to start seeing some companies fall out of AI because everyone seems to be racing into it. And the reality is not everyone's going to survive it. So I think we're going to see some consolidation. And I think we're going to start seeing some platforms really become AI centered and AI leading certain functions and disciplines and industries within the AI realm. I think right now you just see everybody in the space right now. And it's hard to tell who's going to last for the longevity of these offerings.
And jobs overall, how do you see that affecting the job market in the next year?
I what I'm predicting is I think we're going to have a flat jobs growth next year. I don't think we're going to see a large growth in the market. I think what we're seeing is companies are trying to tap into how do I continue to grow my business, expand my business, improve my revenues, my margins without growing headcount and still being more productive. AI is that solution. We can probably improve our productivity 10, 15, 20 basis points over a period of time with the same or even less headcount over time because that resource is there to support us and that technology is there to make it work. So I really do think we're going to see a flattening of the number of people in the workforce, and I don't see we're going to see large growth on the employee side.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to get definitely maybe a little bit tougher out there for people.
It is, Chuck, one of the things I tell people is this is also your opportunity to lean in. If there's a aspect of your career, a function you love to do, lean in now, learn it, embrace it, build it around the AI models, because the reality is you might and should be able to create a new career and pivot yourself into new opportunities with this technology. So you can sit and wait, you can watch and learn, or you can lean in and say, you know what, it's time for me to try something new and different. And I'm of the last. Let's go lean in. Let's see what we can do with this. And look, we might make a few mistakes. I get it, but lean in. This is an opportunity to do something different that rarely comes in our lives. So lean in, see what you can do, experiment, try, and then let's see what happens.
Yeah, sounds like a great plan. So, Neil, I appreciate you coming on today. Is there any one piece of advice? What's the one thing that you would tell our listeners the most important thing for the upcoming year?
I think embrace the technology and embrace your people. It's both. You got to do them both. And this is a year that we just don't know exactly what's going to happen yet. And when there's uncertainty, our jobs as leaders is to lean in and be that certain force for our people and give them the guidance and the vision of what's coming.
Thank you. There you have it, guys. Neil Katz. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for letting me be on your podcast. I really enjoyed it.
No, thank you for coming on. It's been a great talk, and I really appreciate your time.
All right. Well, you have a happy holidays, okay?
Yes, sir. Happy holidays. Have a great day.
Thanks. Okay. Bye bye.